I watched you look at the door and know exactly what was coming. You predicted this. You knew it was coming, long before anyone else in the room felt the shift. And if you walk away now, you will spend another year calling your deepest spiritual gift a mental illness. If you leave, the next time the warning comes, you will ignore it and be crushed. You need to hear this. You have sat in the dark and felt the air grow suddenly heavy. Your stomach tightens for no visible reason. You tell yourself that you are just overthinking again. You whisper to yourself that you are making things up. But then the exact thing you pictured actually happens. The floor falls out from under you, and you are left standing in the wreckage of a situation you foresaw. My watchful child, I saw you holding that heavy sight. I am telling you what this sight actually is. I am telling you tonight because there is no version of this where I let you suffer in silence anymore. Stay with me, because before this hour is over, you will understand exactly why I gave you this heavy intuition. You will finally feel peace instead of that crushing anxiety. Type the words, "I knew it was coming." I am reading your words. Let me give you something you can use right now. Notice what your body does when the sudden dread arrives. You toss and turn in your bed. Your chest feels tight. You assume you are just a pessimistic person. You assume you are broken inside. You are not broken. That tightness is not a disease. It is the quiet knock of preparation. It is the alarm system I installed inside your spirit. So tonight, stop fighting your own intuition. Just breathe and listen to it. But preparation is only the surface of what you are carrying. There is a much deeper reason you were allowed to see it first. There is a reason the warning comes to you and not to the others. I am going to reveal that true reason before we are finished. Do not put this down. The part of the story you actually need is still coming. We need to talk about the weight of being the one who sees. You have watched people you love walk straight into danger. You tried to warn them. You spoke up and tried to pull them back from the edge. But they looked at you like you were crazy. They called you negative. They told you to stop worrying so much. And you had to stand there and watch them break their own lives. That is a terrible kind of helplessness. It hurts to hold the truth when no one around you wants to catch it. You feel entirely alone in a crowded room. You watch the disaster unfolding in slow motion. You see the betrayal before the words are even spoken. You see the ending before the first argument even happens. And because no one believes you, you begin to doubt your own sanity. You wonder if you somehow caused the disaster just by thinking about it. You did not cause it. You did not attract the ruin by seeing it early. I need you to let go of that heavy lie. You have spent years carrying the guilt for buildings you did not break. You feel responsible for saving everyone because you saw the fire first. But seeing the fire does not make you the savior. It makes you the watchman. And a watchman is only required to sound the alarm. Think about the nights you stayed awake worrying about their choices. You exhausted your own body trying to prevent their pain. You gave them your time and your energy. You gave them every piece of wisdom you had, and they still chose the wrong path. You broke your own heart trying to protect theirs. I was there when you cried over their refusal to listen. I counted every tear you shed for people who would not save themselves. It is time to look at what this burden has done to you. You are exhausted. Your mind cannot rest, even when your body is still. You are constantly scanning the horizon for the next threat. You live in a state of high alert. You have forgotten what it feels like to just sit in a room and be safe. You have traded your own peace for the job of protecting people who do not want your protection. I see how tired you are. I see how much this vigilance has cost you. You were never meant to be the savior of the whole house. You were never meant to carry the consequences of their free will. The heavy sight I gave you was designed to be a tool. It was never supposed to be a prison. And tonight we are going to break the locks on that prison. We are going to change the way you carry this sight. You have carried it like a curse for long enough. Let me show you what it looks like when you carry it like a shield. I am turning the page for you right now. You are stepping out of the role of the anxious victim. You are stepping into the authority of the watchful guard. But before I give you the full instructions, we have to clear away the noise in your head. I know the doubt that is whispering to you right now. We are going to answer that doubt together. I know the thought that is moving through you right now. You are thinking about the ruin you saw coming, and you are asking a very painful question. You are asking why I gave you this heavy sight if I was not going to stop the disaster. Why would I show you the wreck if I was not going to stop the car? I am not offended by your question. It is a completely fair thing to ask. You watched them make the exact mistakes you warned them about. You stood there with your hands tied. You pleaded with them to turn around, and they walked right past your warning and stepped into the fire. The hardest part of being the watchman is the watching. You carry the heavy sight for people who refuse to open their own eyes. That hurts more than the actual collapse. But listen to me carefully. I cannot force a human heart to change its direction. To stop a free will decision is to strip a person of their soul. I do not do that. I did not give you this intuition so you could control their choices. I gave it to you so you could prepare your own safety net. The warning was never about forcing them to listen to you. It was about giving you the time to step out of the way. But you stayed in the way. You stayed because you loved them. And because you stayed, you took the impact of a crash that did not belong to you. They called you crazy for seeing the cracks in the foundation. They isolated you. And then the building fell exactly the way you said it would fall. They never came back to apologize for doubting you. They never said you were right. They just expected you to help them clean up the broken pieces. And you did help them. You always help them. You push your own exhaustion aside, and you start sweeping up the glass. You are the one who carries the heavy sight. You are the one who stays when the others run away. This role has drained the life out of your bones. You sit in your room and you wonder if it is even worth speaking up anymore. You wonder if you should just close your eyes and let the world burn. I see how heavy this has become for you. The watchman gets tired. The watchman needs a place to lay down the trumpet and just rest. I am that place. I heard every prayer you whispered for them in the middle of the night. You asked me to change their minds. You begged me to turn their hearts around before it was too late. I heard you. My silence was not a rejection of your prayer. Sometimes, the only way a person learns to avoid the fire is by feeling the heat of the flames. You had to let them feel the heat, but you stood too close to the fire. Now you carry the burns from someone else's mistake. You have told yourself that this intuition is a terrible curse. You have wished that you could just be blind like everyone else. You think it would be easier to just be surprised by the pain instead of anticipating it for months. Ignorance is not easier. It is just more dangerous. You are not crazy. You are not making things up in your head to cause trouble. The things you see are real. The shifts in the room are real. The sudden drop in your stomach is a truthful response to a hidden reality. I gave you a spirit that senses what the natural eyes cannot see. It is a lonely road to walk. People do not like the person who points out the storm clouds when they want to enjoy the sun. They push you away because your sight makes them uncomfortable. But you must never apologize for seeing the truth. You must never shrink yourself down to make blind people feel better about the dark. Your job was only to blow the trumpet. Their job was to listen. When they chose to ignore the sound, your responsibility ended. You cannot carry the guilt for a warning they chose to laugh at. Let them hold their own consequences. It is time for you to wash your hands of their stubborn mistakes. You have done enough. You have given enough. I am looking at a child who is weary in the deepest part of their soul. You are tired of being the only one who cares. You are tired of looking ahead and seeing nothing but trouble. I am going to teach you how to turn this heavy sight into a quiet sanctuary. You do not have to be the savior of every broken thing you encounter. You are allowed to see the storm and simply close your own windows. You are allowed to let other people get wet. I know this goes against everything you have been taught about love. But true love does not mean destroying your own house to patch the roof of someone who refuses to buy shingles. I am giving you permission to step back. You even felt guilty for preparing your own lifeboat. When the ship finally sank, you felt bad that you were not drowning with them. That is the tragedy of a pure heart. You carry the sorrow of the foolish. I want you to drop that sorrow right now. It is heavy, and it serves no holy purpose. You survived because you paid attention to my voice. Do not apologize for surviving the wreck. Do not hide your lifeboat because someone else chose to ignore the leak. You are a watchman. You are allowed to survive the things you see coming. I am going to show you exactly how to separate your heart from their collapse. The heavy sight is about to become your greatest advantage. Type the words "I was," not imagining it. Let that declaration settle your spirit. I know you are still carrying the grief of being entirely right. You stood at the edge of the cliff and shouted. You pointed directly at the danger ahead, but they just smiled and told you to stop being so negative. Then they fell, and you had to stand at the top of the cliff alone. You watched the whole terrible thing happen exactly as you said it would. That is a very specific kind of heartbreak. You are mourning a loss that you tried desperately to prevent. You replay those conversations every night, and you wonder if things would change if you had used the right words. You think maybe if you yelled louder, they would have listened. You carry their failure like it is your own personal defeat. Let me describe how this feels in your body. The phone rings and your chest instantly tightens, and before a single bad thing even happens, your hands are already sweating. You hear a certain tone of voice and your stomach drops to the floor. You feel the subtle shift in the room before anyone else even bothers to look up. You notice the tiny details that everyone else happily ignores. You see the changes in their behavior. You watch the lies pile up. You feel the storm gathering while the sky is still perfectly blue. And because you feel it coming, your heart begins to race. You cannot sleep. You lie awake staring at the ceiling, trying to figure out how to stop the storm from hitting their house. You map out every possible disaster in your tired mind, and you have a very cruel name for this heavy feeling. You call it anxiety. You have convinced yourself that you just have a sick mind that cannot stop worrying. You think you are broken because you always expect the worst. You tell yourself to be normal and enjoy the moment like everyone else. You apologize for overthinking. You swallow your words and pretend everything is fine. You diagnosed your spiritual sight as a mental flaw, and you let other people convince you that your deep intuition is nothing but panic. Hear me clearly. That is a terrible lie. Stop calling my gift a disease. You do not have a broken brain, and you are not just a naturally pessimistic person. You were not overthinking when you saw the cracks in their foundation. You were seeing the truth. Here is the hidden mechanism you have not understood yet. Exhaustion does not come from seeing the future before it arrives. Exhaustion comes from trying to control the future of someone who desperately wants to be blind. I gave you that sight so you could detach your heart before the collapse. I did not give it to you so you could throw your body under the falling bricks. You are feeling the crushing weight of an impossible task. You are trying to save grown people from their own free will. I will name this pain so you can stop fighting it. This is the watchman's H. A watchman feels the pain of the approaching army before the city even knows it is at war. But the watchman is not the savior of the city, because the watchman only blows the warning horn. You blew the horn. They chose to sleep. The watchman's H is the heavy sorrow of blowing a trumpet that nobody wants to hear. But the ache was never meant to destroy your life. The early warning was my profound mercy to you. It was your signal to step back and find a safe place to stand. Your intuition was never anxiety. It was divine protection, wearing a very heavy coat. Look back at your life with this new understanding. Look at the relationships that crashed and burned. Look at the jobs that ended badly. You thought you were cursed to always watch good things die. You thought your negative energy somehow ruined those relationships before they even had a chance to bloom. You were never cursed. You were given a massive head start. When your stomach dropped weeks before the breakup, I was telling you to pack your bags. When your chest tightened before the betrayal, I was loosening your attachment. You did not cause the wreck by seeing it early. I let you see it, so you would not be completely crushed when the walls finally came down. The pain you felt was just the friction of your heart detaching. You were meant to use that early sight to build your own quiet shelter. Instead, you used it to try and fix their broken house. That is exactly why you are so tired today. You took a tool designed for your protection, and you used it to fight their battles. And fighting a battle for someone who has already surrendered is the fastest way to lose your own life. So tonight, we change the rules of engagement. I am giving you back your stolen peace. I am not asking you to stop seeing the truth. I am asking you to stop taking responsibility for what you clearly see. The next time the heavy feeling drops into your stomach, do not panic. Do not rush to fix the other person. Do not write a long speech trying to convince them to change their destructive ways. Take one deliberate step backward. Let them make their own choice. Acknowledge the warning and quietly secure your own emotional peace. You are allowed to let them fall. You are allowed to stand safely on the hill and watch the wreckage happen without jumping in. You blew the horn, and your job is completely done. Put the trumpet down. I never asked you to catch them. Type the words, "The warning was mercy." I want to take you back to the exact moment the walls came crashing down. You saw it happening in your mind months before the actual event, and because you anticipated the collapse, a very dark thought began to whisper in your ear. You started to wonder if your negative thinking somehow created the disaster, and you watched the ruin unfold while feeling completely responsible for it. You have carried a terrible guilt because you think you attracted the tragedy. You tell yourself that if you had just been more positive, the ending would have been different. You believe your anxiety manifested the exact heartbreak you were trying to avoid. My child, I need you to drop that crushing lie right now. You did not attract the disaster by seeing it. Your heart is entirely innocent of that wreckage. You must stop taking the blame for storms you did not create. The belief that your thoughts caused their failure is suffocating you. It is a heavy deception that keeps you trapped in a cycle of endless guilt. I am going to reveal the truth about those moments. You need to understand how spiritual sight actually works. Here is the profound truth you have been missing all these years. People repeat their own destructive patterns because human nature runs in deep cycles. They stumble into the same pits because they refuse to change their direction. It is not magic. It is just a cycle repeating itself. And I let you feel the cycle coming. I let you sense the drop in the temperature. I gave you that early warning so you would have time to quietly withdraw your hands. I let you see the ending so you could pull your heart out of the room before the ceiling fell. I am going to name this gift so you never confuse it with a curse again. This is the protective echo. It is the sound of a falling bridge reaching your ears before you step on the wood. Now I want you to look back at the history you have been so ashamed of. Look at the times you thought your pessimism ruined a perfectly good opportunity. You were not ruining anything. You were feeling the protective echo. Every time you pulled away just before the betrayal, that was my profound mercy guiding you. You thought you were failing at being supportive and fiercely loyal, but you were actually surviving. You survived the bankruptcy of their terrible choices because the echo told you to stop investing. You survived the betrayal because the echo told you to keep a safe distance. You did not fail them. You were simply preserved. I gave you a massive head start so you would not be buried under the consequences of their stubborn pride. So from this day forward, I want you to change the way you handle this sight. When the sudden dread arrives, do not waste your energy trying to change the weather. Do not try to convince a blind person to look at the approaching storm. Just step back. Use the echo as a shield instead of a weapon. Let it protect your peace instead of destroying your nervous system. You only have to secure your own emotional perimeter. Acknowledge the warning and quietly lock your own doors. Remember the heavy burden I named for you earlier. You do not have to carry it anymore. I want you to come with me and look at the life standing on the other side of this revelation. Let me show you a morning where you are no longer carrying the weight. Come with me to a quiet morning 6 months from now. It is a completely ordinary day where nothing has been announced. You wake up and your feet find the floor without a single argument. You walk into the kitchen and pour your coffee, and you stand by the window with the warm cup resting against your palm. The tightness behind your ribs is entirely gone. Your shoulders are completely relaxed. You are not scanning the horizon for the next disaster. You are not rehearsing a painful conversation in your head while you wait for the sun to rise. You look at your phone and you see that a situation has gone wrong. It is the exact situation you predicted would fail. But something miraculous happens inside your chest. You do not panic. You do not try to rescue them. You simply take a sip of your coffee and watch the event happen. You feel a profound peace in the middle of a chaotic room. You are not angry that they ignored your advice. You are just completely detached from the outcome of their choices. That is the part you cannot picture from where you are standing today. You are perfectly calm while their world spins out of control. That morning is not a dream. That peaceful version of you already exists. She is not being built in some faraway place. She is standing right on the other side of the false guilt you are still gripping tightly. The distance between you and that beautiful morning is not time. It is permission. You only have to give yourself permission to drop the illusion of control. Permission is something you say out loud in a quiet room. Say it tonight before you go to sleep. Say that you are releasing the need to save everyone. Let them experience the harvest of what they have planted. You will finally sleep through the night. The morning I just showed you has been walking toward you this whole time. It is waiting for you to drop the heavy bag. I know there is a heavy question sitting in your heart right now. You are thinking about the nights you stayed awake praying for that disaster to pass. You asked me to intervene. You pleaded with me to stop the collapse and keep the walls standing. And then you watched the whole thing fall apart anyway, leaving you standing in the dust while you questioned your own faith. You feel like I completely ignored your desperate prayers. I am not offended by your deep anger. Your grief is entirely valid. The collapse was real, and it hurt you more than you have ever admitted. But you have profoundly misunderstood my silence, because silence is not a rejection of your heart. I did not ignore a single word you whispered in the dark. Sometimes, a room has to be violently closed to save your actual life. I let the building fall because the foundation was already poisoned. If I had answered your prayer to keep it standing, it would have eventually buried you. You have spent years blaming yourself for not praying hard enough to save it. You think your lack of faith caused the ultimate destruction. Drop that heavy burden immediately. You did not lack faith. You were praying for the survival of a cage. I am going to name this so you never misunderstand your past again. This is the merciful wreckage. It looks like absolute destruction, but it is actually a divine rescue mission. You were fighting to save a relationship or a situation that was slowly draining your spirit. You wanted to keep the familiar pain because you were terrified of the unknown. Look at what happened after the dust finally settled. You walked out of that terrible situation with your soul completely intact. You lost the illusion of control, but you gained your actual freedom. The wreckage was not a punishment for your pessimistic thoughts. It was the messy and painful process of your true liberation. I want you to feel the profound relief of this truth right now. You are not responsible for holding up ceilings that I have decided to bring down. Stop trying to glue the broken pieces back together. Let the shattered things stay on the ground where they belong. You have a completely different assignment now. We are entering a brand new phase of your spiritual journey. You have spent your entire life operating out of a defensive posture. You used your deep intuition to brace for the next devastating blow. You scanned every room for danger so you could shield the people you love. But that exhausting defensive season is officially over. I am elevating your energy tonight. I am taking this heavy spiritual sight and turning it into a brilliant weapon. You will no longer shrink back in fear when the sudden knowing drops into your spirit. You will stand up tall and use it to navigate the dark. The anxiety you felt was just raw power that you did not know how to properly steer. When you try to hold a massive current of water in a tiny cup, the glass shatters. Your nervous system has been shattering because you tried to contain a divine warning inside a human worry. I am expanding your capacity to hold this profound sight. You are going to feel a massive shift in your physical body. The nervous trembling in your hands is going to fade away entirely. A deep and steady confidence is rising up to replace the panic. You are not a helpless victim of your own intense intuition. You are a highly equipped watchman. And a watchman does not tremble when he sees the approaching storm. He simply locks the heavy gates. The noise of the world tries to tell you that you are just too sensitive. People who do not possess your depth will always try to make you feel crazy for feeling so much. They dismiss your warnings because the absolute truth makes them deeply uncomfortable. You must stop seeking validation from people who are committed to staying blind. You do not need their permission to trust your own gut. I gave the sight to you. I did not give it to a committee for approval. When you feel the sudden shift in the atmosphere, trust it immediately. Do not wait for 3 more disasters to prove your intuition right. You have already gathered enough evidence to know that your gut does not lie. The days of second-guessing your own spiritual alarm system are completely finished. You are walking into a season of fierce clarity. The confusion is lifting off your mind like a heavy fog. You are going to see things clearly and act quickly. Type the words, "I drop the burden," if you are ready to let the self-blame go today. I am reading your comments, and I see your genuine faith. It is time to step fully into the authority I have given you. Do not look back at the fallen buildings with regret or sadness. Look forward at the wide open space I have carefully created for you. The heavy sight is no longer a burden to carry. It is your greatest and most beautiful advantage. You have survived every single storm that I warned you about. You have walked through the fire, and you did not burn. That is because the early warning gave you the exact time you needed to step aside. Your intuition has kept you alive through seasons that would have destroyed anyone else. Take a deep breath and let that reality settle into your bones. You are safe, you are protected, and you are finally ready to use this gift properly. You have spent your entire life apologizing for what you see. You lower your voice. You pretend you did not notice the lie. You smile and act surprised when the truth finally comes out. And you do this because you do not want to make other people uncomfortable while they live in their chosen ignorance. You hide your own spiritual sight to protect the feelings of those who refuse to wake up. That hiding ends today. I did not give you this profound discernment so you could bury it in the backyard. A watchman does not apologize for seeing the approaching army. He stands on the wall. He sounds the alarm. He does his job with absolute clarity and without a single ounce of hesitation. And if the city gets angry at him for waking them up, he simply does not care. His loyalty is to the truth and not to their temporary comfort. That is exactly who I created you to be. You are the watchman for your family. You are the one who senses the subtle shifts in the spiritual weather before the storm even gathers. This heavy sight is not a curse of chronic anxiety. It is the holy weight of a divine assignment. Look at the people who have relied on your intuition over the years. They came to you when their own lives fell apart. They asked for your advice because they knew you could see the things they missed. You have guided them through terrible seasons, but you never gave yourself the credit for holding that heavy lantern. You gave them the warm light, and you kept all the painful burns for yourself. I am stepping in to change the dynamic of your life right now. The heavy sight is no longer going to drain your physical energy. It is going to energize your spirit. You are going to walk into a room and instantly know what is hidden in the dark corners. And instead of feeling a crushing panic in your chest, you will feel a fierce calm. You will look at the chaos and know exactly where to step. You are moving from a place of helpless observation into a place of supreme authority. They will marvel at your unshakable peace. They will wonder how you stay so steady when the ground violently shakes. They will not know that you already saw the earthquake coming months ago. You have already prepared your house. You have already secured your foundation. This is the profound difference between anxiety and divine preparation. Anxiety fears the unknown future and paralyzes your body. Preparation simply looks at the future and builds a strong wall to meet it with complete confidence. You are stepping into that absolute confidence tonight. But there is one thing I have not given you yet. I have been holding it back on purpose. It would have meant nothing to you an hour ago. I will call it the final piece of your armor. You will not receive it in the part of this that sounds like an ending. You will receive it after. Do not go anywhere when it sounds like I am closing the message. That is precisely where this final piece lives. It is the one truth that locks all of this into place permanently. You must stay to hear it. But right now I need you to feel the chains breaking off your tired mind. The false guilt is falling away. The intense fear of your own intuition is dissolving into absolutely nothing. You are a gifted and powerful spirit. I designed your mind to catch the quiet frequencies of heaven. You are not broken. You are highly tuned. And a highly tuned instrument picks up every single note in the room. You hear what I allow you to hear. Type the words, "My sight is a gift." Let that declaration break the old curse. You are claiming your true identity right here and right now. I am watching you step into the glorious light. The days of shrinking down to fit into their small boxes are over. The days of doubting your own gut are totally finished. You are the watchman. The watchman is finally awake. And a waking watchman is the most dangerous threat to the darkness that has been trying to steal your family. Let the relief wash over your shoulders. Let the tension leave your jaw. You do not have to predict the future to control it anymore. You only observe it to protect your own peace. That is the ultimate freedom I am handing you today. You can see the wreck without becoming part of the casualty list. You can love them from a safe distance while they learn their own hard lessons. Your assignment is clear. Your mind is quiet. Your heart is finally safe inside the fortress of this beautiful discernment. Do not let the enemy convince you that you are crazy tomorrow morning. The noise of the world will try to pull you back into that old panic. It will try to tell you that you are just a worried person who cannot relax. When that lying voice whispers to you, I want you to remember this exact moment. Remember the clarity of knowing you were right all along. Let us face the hardest truth of this entire journey. You knew the collapse was coming, but it still broke your heart. You saw the walls shaking months before they actually fell, and when the crash finally happened, you felt completely shattered. You stood in the dust and wondered why the advance warning did not shield you from the intense pain. You expected the intuition to make you bulletproof. You have carried a quiet anger about this for a very long time. You ask why I gave you the sight if the impact was going to hurt anyway. You think that if you truly had spiritual discernment, you would have felt nothing when the building collapsed. You believe your deep sorrow means you somehow failed the test. That is a heavy and terrible lie. You did not fail anything. The pain you felt was not a failure of your spiritual sight. The pain was the violent tearing of your own illusion of control. You wanted the warning to save a structure that I had already decided to bring down. I am naming this reality right now, so you can stop fighting the ghosts. This is the merciful wreckage. I let the building fall because it was heading in the wrong direction. I do not preserve things that are secretly poisoning your spirit. If I had kept that situation standing, it would have eventually buried you alive. The wreckage was not a punishment for your lack of faith or your anxious thoughts. It was the only way to get you out of a room that was locking from the outside. I had to break the ceiling to pull you into the open air. Look at the rubble of that old life with new eyes today. The people who walked away were meant to walk away. The door that slammed shut was a door you were never supposed to walk through again. You predicted this shift because I gave you the discernment to detach early. What you called crippling anxiety was actually divine preparation. You were being prepared to survive a massive transition. Hear me where you make your deepest decisions. You were never crazy. You were never overthinking. I gave you that discernment so you could detach your heart before the absolute collapse. That is the whole truth. And because you had that warning, you will walk out of the wreckage entirely intact. You will use this heavy sight as a beautiful gift. The argument ends right here and right now. Stand up on the ruins of the things that did not last. Look around and realize that your soul is completely unharmed. You survived the exact thing you were terrified of. Your intuition kept your core safe while the unnecessary pieces fell away. I want you to drop the guilt of being the one who sees. You are the watchman, and a watchman does not mourn the loss of a dangerous house. Now hear my warning before we close this chapter. The enemy knows how powerful your intuition has become. The noise of the world is going to try and drown out that quiet knowing. People will tell you to ignore your gut and just follow the crowd. If you listen to them, you will walk straight back into the very fire I just pulled you out of. Do not ignore your inner voice again. The cost of ignoring the warning is not a quiet life. The cost is living someone else's disaster. When the heavy feeling drops into your stomach next week, you must not push it down. You must not swallow your truth to keep the dinner table polite. If you silence the watchman, the city falls. Your peace depends on your absolute obedience to the things I show you in the dark. I am speaking directly to your spirit right now. But perhaps you are still holding on to the familiar pain. If you are not completely ready to let go of the self-blame, simply sit still. I am not offended by your hesitation. I am not judging your slow steps. You can stay in the quiet until you are ready to drop the heavy bags. I have endless patience for your healing process. But if you are ready to walk out of the wreckage, I have something for you. You have heard my voice confirm everything you secretly suspected. The validation you have been starving for is finally here. We are about to cross the final threshold together. Remember the missing piece I promised you earlier. I am holding it out to you right now. I just need you to be fully awake to receive it. Prepare your heart for the very last step. The transition is almost complete. You are leaving the old cycle of anxiety behind forever. You are stepping into the fierce and steady calm of the true watchman. Take a deep breath and let the reality of your freedom settle into your chest. The heavy sight is your shield. The storm has passed. You are completely safe to move forward. There is a heavy cost to another year of doubting your own spiritual sight. It is not a cost anyone will send you an invoice for in the mail. It is paid very quietly in the things you stop expecting. Every time you push down the warning to keep the peace, you give away a piece of your own sanctuary. I am not warning you about a physical enemy tonight. I am warning you about your own habit of shrinking down to make blind people comfortable. Do not go back to apologizing for what you clearly see. If you go back to the old way of carrying this, you will slowly suffocate the profound gift I placed inside your chest. The world will happily drown out your intuition, If you give it permission, you must protect this quiet knowing with everything you have. I want you to look ahead and see what happens when you finally trust the voice I gave you. Let me show you the beautiful result of this transition. Come with me to a quiet afternoon before this current season ends. You are standing in the middle of a room that used to hold the wreckage of your old plans. But you are not crying over the broken stones anymore. You are holding a brand new blueprint in your hands, and your fingers are completely steady. You look out the window and watch the storm clouds gathering, and you do not feel a single drop of panic in your blood. Notice what is missing from that peaceful room. The crippling fear of the next sudden disaster is simply not there. You do not look at the door and wonder who is going to betray you next. You do not feel the heavy exhaustion of trying to save people who refuse to be saved. The profound panic that used to sit in your throat has been replaced by a fierce and beautiful clarity. You are entirely safe inside your own mind. That steady builder is not a foolish fantasy. That person is incredibly real. She is not waiting for you in another lifetime or in a different reality. He is standing right on the other side of your decision to finally trust the alarm system I gave you. The distance between you and that peaceful room is not measured in years. It is measured in your willingness to let the dead things stay dead. Remember the final piece I promised you earlier, the one truth I kept back until the very end. Here is the last thing I kept for you. The people you could not save were never your spiritual assignment. The ones who walked away were meant to walk away. You predicted the massive shift because I gave you the discernment to detach early. What you called terrible anxiety was actually my divine preparation. I broke the ceiling to pull you into the open air. I am lifting the heavy burden of the watchman off your tired shoulders tonight. You are allowed to see the storm and simply rest inside your own house. You do not have to stand in the freezing rain anymore. Let these gentle words settle deeply into your weary spirit. I want to speak to you the way a loving father speaks at the end of a very long day. You are deeply loved. You are fiercely protected. Everything I came to say has been said. The teaching is officially finished. You will walk out of the wreckage intact and use this sight as a magnificent gift. You will no longer call your deep discernment a heavy curse. What remains now is between the two of us. Put your notebook down and just receive the quiet blessing. I am sealing your mind with absolute peace. Now I need you to take one final step of faith. Type the words, "I walk out intact." Let this place know that you stayed until the very end. I read what my children write, and I am watching you step into your true authority. Go now. Walk forward like a person who finally knows how to use their strongest shield. I am with you always.